Life had been throwing one challenge after another at Vito, testing his resilience in ways he never imagined. The day started with high hopes during a part-time job interview. After navigating the lengthy questioning process, things seemed promising until the knock on the door changed everything. The appearance of Napoleon, Vito's young son, disrupted the proceedings. As a single parent without access to childcare, Vito's circumstances made the HR manager second-guess their decision, and what had initially seemed like a great opportunity slipped away. Frustrated by yet another rejection, Vito received a call from his younger brother, Anton, asking to be picked up urgently. Knowing his sibling too well, Vito anticipated trouble. It was a pattern, a habit Anton couldn't seem to break. Riding in silence to fetch him, Vito's mounting disappointment weighed heavier. Anton's demeanor upon meeting confirmed Vito's suspicions, indicating yet another reckless endeavor, whether it was a scam or theft. Returning to their shared apartment complex added further gloom. The building was deteriorating, its cracks and leaks symbolizing the precarious state of their lives. As they entered, they passed neighbors moving out, no longer willing to endure the building's poor conditions. Inside their apartment, Vito busied himself with heating milk for Napoleon while Anton rifled through a stack of unopened mail. Among the envelopes was one marked with the bank's insignia. Initially brushing it off, Anton hesitated before admitting its contents. A notification that their apartment was set to be auctioned within a month. The letter revealed the extent of Anton's irresponsibility, having used the apartment as collateral for a loan from Lenardi, a businessman whose reputation preceded him. The news shook Vito to his core. Determined to salvage the situation, the brothers began investigating Lenardi's identity, seeking an opportunity to negotiate more time for repayment. Their search led them to Marina, Lenardi's daughter, who was visibly frustrated with her employees. Her demeanor deterred Vito and Anton from approaching her directly, prompting them to focus on tracking Lenardi himself. The trail ended at an exclusive gala dinner celebrating Lenardi's charity foundation. The event highlighted his contributions to preserving Naples' traditional arts and architecture, as well as the seamless integration of Marina and her boyfriend, Spagnoli, into his future business plan. Facing rejection at the entrance due to not being on the guest list, the brothers resorted to sneaking in through the back door. Inside the venue's art exhibition room, Vito handed Napoleon to Anton, planning to keep a closer eye on Lenardi's movements. Unable to manage Napoleon's cries, Anton made a questionable decision, hiding the baby in a food cart to prevent detection. Amidst the chaos, the brothers lost track of the cart. Eventually, Vito retrieved Napoleon before any harm occurred. In his search for Napoleon, Anton noticed Marina unlocking her phone, her movements etched in his memory. A collision with a waiter caused drinks to spill on her clothing, leaving her distracted as she set the phone aside. This moment of vulnerability was all Anton needed. His impulsive nature drove him to steal the device. Later, tensions boiled over in their apartment. Vito vented his anger at Anton, blaming him for their mounting problems and Napoleon's brief endangerment. Anton countered with a plan, an idea born from his opportunistic nature and newfound access to Marina's phone. His proposal revolved around Vito charming Marina, winning her trust, and leveraging her influence to repay the debt. Anton framed it as the only viable solution, but Vito immediately rejected the notion. The moral implications of using someone's emotions for financial gain clashed deeply with Vito's principles, especially when considering their tangled situation. As night fell, the weight of uncertainty settled over the apartment, punctuated by the steady rhythm of Napoleon's soft breathing in his crib. The brothers faced the consequences of their actions, their decisions shaping what little hope remained. The next day began with an air of tension that refused to dissipate. Anton, ever determined, resumed his attempts to persuade Vito to go ahead with the plan they had devised. His relentless persistence, however, was met with stubborn resistance. Vito, weighed down by the moral implications and the mounting pressure of their situation, refused to give in. Their argument, filled with frustration and desperation, was interrupted by an unexpected knock at the door. Standing on the other side was a representative from the court. The visitor's stern demeanor and clipboard in hand signaled the gravity of their presence. They entered the apartment, their gaze immediately drawn to the state of disrepair, the peeling paint, the leaking ceiling, and the overall shabbiness of their living condition. After a quick inspection, their attention shifted to Napoleon. The purpose of the visit soon became clear. The court had determined that, in Vito's current situation, he was unfit to provide for Napoleon. Custody would be granted to the boy's biological mother, a decision that left Vito reeling. The thought of losing his son, the one anchor grounding him amidst the chaos of his life, was too much to bear. As the representative left, their words lingered in the apartment like an unwelcome guest, their finality echoing in Vito's mind. Faced with this new blow, Vito's resolve finally cracked. The prospect of losing Napoleon outweighed his moral reservations. He turned to Anton with a reluctant agreement, signaling his readiness to proceed with the plan. Their mission to win Marina's trust and ultimately exploit her wealth was set into motion. The first step in their scheme was to transform Vito into someone Marina would find compelling. The brothers spent hours selecting the perfect attire, cycling through jackets, ties, and shoes to craft an image of sophistication and charm. They constructed an entire identity for Vito, now known as Carlo, a wealthy, soft-spoken philanthropist who owned a fictitious charity foundation dedicated to humanitarian efforts. The foundation itself was given a detailed backstory, designed to serve as a convincing front for their operation. It would appear as a beacon of hope, while secretly funneling any funds they extracted from Marina to resolve their debt. With the identity in place, the next step was to orchestrate a dramatic first encounter with her. They decided on an elevator meeting, where Vito's charm and Carlo's persona would shine. Anton coordinated the logistics, including sabotaging the elevator's electronics with the help of a friend. The plan involved ensuring Marina boarded alone, with Vito strategically following her just before the doors closed. On the designated day, Vito entered Marina's office building with newfound confidence, dressed impeccably in a tailored suit. Meanwhile, Anton called Marina's boyfriend, Spagnoli, to distract him, ensuring he wouldn't accompany her. Marina entered the elevator as planned, and Vito rushed to join her before the doors shut. The elevator's abrupt halt between floors signaled the beginning of their scheme. However, the confined space brought out an unexpected side of Marina. Instead of remaining calm, she spiraled into a panic attack, her behavior erratic and unsettling. Her incoherent mutterings and frantic movements left Vito rattled, unable to execute the charm offensive they had rehearsed. The mission, designed for calculated drama, descended into chaos, leaving Vito overwhelmed and exhausted by the end of it. Despite the setback, Anton's determination remained unshaken. Reviewing the data from Marina's stolen phone, he identified her passion for cooking as a potential avenue to connect with her. Vito, skeptical of this approach, proposed an alternative, which was joining a yoga class Marina attended. The yoga session, executed under the guise of coincidence, did little to earn Marina's trust. Instead, it raised her suspicions, prompting her to question Vito's presence at her activities. Sensing the plan might unravel, Anton orchestrated a new ploy. By repositioning Marina's car to a disabled parking spot, he ensured her vehicle would be impounded. This inconvenience allowed Vito to offer Marina a ride home, positioning himself as her helpful savior. During the drive, Vito leaned into his Carlo persona, weaving a narrative of altruism and humanitarian dedication. He portrayed himself as a selfless volunteer in underserved communities, carefully avoiding any mention of Leonardi to maintain the illusion of ignorance. Midway through the journey, he suggested a stop at his restaurant, a venue staged as part of their elaborate charade. At the restaurant, Vito demonstrated acts of generosity, packaging food for distribution to the less fortunate. The performance was designed to reinforce his image as a benevolent figure. Marina appeared receptive, though guarded, as she observed his actions. Seizing the opportunity, Vito invited her to cook alongside him, curious to see her culinary skills in action. Marina, enthusiastic about cooking, prepared a pasta dish with precision and flair, crediting her mother for teaching her everything she knew. The meal exceeded Vito's expectations, its flavor and presentation earning genuine praise. As a gesture of acknowledgement, he presented Marina with a chef's hat, symbolizing his admiration for her talent. Buoyed by the success of the evening, Vito proposed a grander idea: a gala dinner at his restaurant, with Marina serving as the head chef. Despite his attempts to persuade her and Anton's additional efforts, Marina declined. Her doubts about her ability to handle such responsibility held her back. Later, Marina discussed the proposal with Spagnoli, reaffirming her decision to decline. Spagnoli supported her, emphasizing the importance of focusing on her father's business and their shared goals. A carefully wrapped package arrived at Marina's doorstep soon after, instantly catching her attention. Unwrapping it, she found a chef's hat, a simple yet thoughtful gesture from Vito. The sight of the hat stirred something in her, reigniting thoughts about his earlier invitation to cook for the gala dinner. It lingered in her mind, sparking a mix of curiosity and apprehension. That night, Marina decided to give the offer a chance. Reaching out to Vito, she confirmed her willingness to be the chef for the event. Preparations began immediately, with Marina dedicating herself wholeheartedly to perfecting her craft. She found herself genuinely enjoying the time spent with Vito, the moments blending professionalism with unexpected warmth. One evening, after a particularly fulfilling day of practicing their gala menu, Vito and Marina shared drinks to unwind. Laughter filled the space as the two grew more relaxed, the day's efforts giving way to light-hearted banter. Marina, perhaps enjoying herself a bit too much, eventually found herself unable to drive. Vito, ever the gentleman, offered to take her home. Their journey took an unexpected detour when they stumbled upon a vibrant music parade in the heart of the city. The intoxicating rhythm and festive energy were too tempting for Marina to resist, even in her inebriated state. She stepped out of the car, her inhibitions swept away by the lively atmosphere. Vito, initially cautious, followed her into the crowd, worried she might land herself in trouble. Instead, Marina pulled him into the revelry, and soon the two were carried away by the warmth of the evening, their laughter blending with the music. By the end of the night, Marina's exhaustion overtook her, and Vito carried her to her apartment. Gently laying her on the bed, he removed her shoes, tucking her in before attempting to leave quietly. But Marina, in a rare moment of unguarded vulnerability, held his hand and expressed her gratitude for the night, hinting that she felt lucky to have spent it with him. The following day, Marina struggled to shake off a lingering hangover. Her unusual behavior didn't go unnoticed by Spagnoli, who was taken aback by her lack of focus and hasty retreat when he questioned her. Marina avoided Spagnoli's invitation for dinner, her thoughts clearly elsewhere. That night, she had already made plans to go fishing with Vito. On the water, their shared laughter and teamwork made for a memorable outing. As dawn broke, they already had enough fish for the upcoming gala dinner. Marina, reveling in the tranquility of the moment, suggested they take a dip in the ocean. The two swam and played in the water, their connection deepening with each passing moment. By the time they returned to shore, it was clear that the time they spent together was fostering something deeper. Upon returning to land, Anton approached Vito with frustration, voicing his concern about being unable to reach him all night. Meanwhile, Napoleon's fever had worsened, leaving the child cranky and inconsolable. Vito's presence, however, seemed to work wonders. Napoleon calmed almost instantly when Vito held him in his arms. The sight touched Marina deeply, seeing another side of Vito that only strengthened her feelings for him. Later, Vito opened up to Marina about his son. He shared the story of Napoleon's unexpected arrival into his life, admitting that fatherhood had been a transformative journey. The boy's mother, unable to adapt to the responsibility, had left them, but Vito had embraced his role wholeheartedly, finding purpose and love in raising his child. Marina's phone buzzed with a call from Spagnoli, but she chose to ignore it, unaware that her father had urgent news to share. Leonardi's latest project, a luxury hotel, was set to be constructed on the very site of Vito's apartment, a revelation with potentially devastating consequences. After spending the evening with Marina, Vito returned home only to be confronted by Anton, who reminded him of the importance of staying focused on their original plan. Despite the growing bond between Vito and Marina, Anton stressed the need to stick to their mission and resolve the looming threat of eviction. To set the stage for the gala dinner, Anton enlisted the help of their apartment's residents. He briefed them thoroughly, instructing them to pose as members of Vito's fictitious charity foundation. Dressed for the occasion, the residents rehearsed their roles, aiming to make the event appear as genuine as possible. Meanwhile, Marina, eager to contribute to the dinner, sought a way to escape a meeting at her office, entrusting Spagnoli with her responsibilities. Arriving at the restaurant, Marina immersed herself in preparations, assisted by Vito. Anton, on the other hand, ensured the apartment residents stuck to the plan, making the event convincing enough to avoid suspicion. Despite their efforts, Marina began to notice inconsistencies among the guests. Driven by curiosity, she ventured out of the kitchen to observe the gathering firsthand. The guests greeted her with enthusiastic applause, praising her culinary creations. The warm reception, though unexpected, eased Marina's doubts, and Vito and Anton managed to maintain the illusion of authenticity, at least for the moment. Back at the office, Spagnoli had grown increasingly suspicious of Marina's recent behavior. Investigating further, he rummaged through her locker and discovered the gift box containing the chef's hat along with Vito's contact information. His discovery led him straight to the restaurant, where the truth about Marina's involvement with Vito awaited. The event had been a whirlwind of applause and lingering conversation as the gala dinner drew to a close. Back in the quiet of the kitchen, Marina and Vito worked together to clean up, their shared efforts underscored by a sense of accomplishment. The success of the evening hung in the air, but Vito's demeanor betrayed a weakness that hadn't been there before. He confessed that the event, intended to be a donation drive for his fictitious charity foundation, had still left him short of the funds he needed. His words carried a mix of vulnerability and regret, and the sight of his sadness tugged at Marina's heart. Without hesitation, she expressed her willingness to help, offering to donate herself. Later, Marina and Vito left the restaurant, unaware that Spagnoli had been waiting in the shadows. Watching them step out together, Spagnoli's suspicion grew, prompting him to follow Vito discreetly back to his apartment. Inside, Vito wasted no time confessing to Anton about the developments. He revealed that his earlier plea to Marina to manipulate her sympathy was a success. Yet, instead of feeling triumphant, guilt weighed heavily on him. Anton, ever pragmatic, urged Vito to push through and complete their original plan, arguing that the money was their only way out of their dire circumstances. But Vito couldn't stomach the deceit any longer. He proposed abandoning the charade entirely, even if it meant losing the apartment and leaving town with Anton and Napoleon. Their conversation was abruptly interrupted by an unexpected guest. Standing on the threshold was Marina, her expression a mix of disappointment and hurt. The truth had come to light. She now knew about Vito's deception. Caught off guard, Vito came clean about his true identity and the difficult situation he was facing. Yet, even with his honest confession, Marina couldn't fully forgive him. The source of Marina's revelation became evident when Spagnoli stepped out from behind her. He chastised Marina for falling for Vito and Anton's schemes, his scornful words carrying a venom that only deepened Marina's frustration. She brushed past him, unwilling to hear more, and left without looking back. In the aftermath of their failure to secure the money, the consequences loomed large. Lenardi's company confiscated Vito's apartment, its demolition inevitable as part of plans to construct a luxury hotel. The apartment, an inheritance from Vito's family, was more than just a building. It was a symbol of his roots and the life he had built. Yet, forced by circumstances, Vito prepared to leave Naples with Anton and Napoleon, their belongings reduced to what little they could carry. Before his departure, Vito sought out Marina one last time, not to plead for forgiveness, but to offer congratulations on the success of her project and her father's unwavering determination to acquire the apartment. During their conversation, Vito revealed shocking details about Lenardi's tactics. Lenardi had deliberately accepted Anton's loan with the apartment as collateral, knowing it was his chance to seize the property. By inflating the loan's interest rates to an unpayable level, he ensured the residents would have no choice but to vacate. Marina, taken aback by the revelation, realized she had been kept in the dark about her father's schemes. Determined to uncover the truth, she investigated further and confirmed Vito's claims. Lenardi had indeed manipulated the situation to his advantage, but the true mastermind behind the strategy was Spagnoli. Anger and betrayal coursed through Marina as the pieces fell into place. She confronted her father, who admitted to following Spagnoli's advice without fully considering its implications. Despite Lenardi's regret, the project was too far along to be halted. The investors, already committed, posed a significant legal risk if the plans were canceled. Marina, unwilling to let the injustice stand, sought out Vito and Anton to enlist their help in exposing Spagnoli's wrongdoing. She explained that Spagnoli had bribed a man named Federico to falsify inspection reports, portraying the apartment as structurally unsound to secure investor backing. Marina proposed that Vito confront Federico at the project site, hoping to uncover further evidence. When Vito and Anton arrived at the site, Spagnoli was already there. Hiding in the shadows, they witnessed Spagnoli handing Federico a bribe, the exchange laden with whispered instructions and tense glances. Vito began recording the interaction discreetly, knowing the footage could be their key to justice. Their cover was blown when Vito, mistaken for a thief by an apartment resident, was shoved down a nearby stairwell. The commotion attracted Spagnoli's attention, but by then, the recording was secure. Marina, informed of the incident, assured Vito and Anton that they had gathered enough evidence to bring both Spagnoli and Federico to court. The looming threat of demolition hung heavy over the apartment building, its foundations bracing for the inevitable destruction planned by Leonardi's company. Machinery lined the lot, workers prepped for action, and the residents feared the end of their home. Just as the process began, Leonardi arrived, halting the proceedings at the last moment. He issued a decisive order to cancel the demolition, returning the apartment keys to their rightful owners. The unexpected turn restored hope to the displaced residents, sparking relief across the community. Vito, though grateful for the outcome, took a moment to thank Marina personally for standing by him during such a turbulent time. Her involvement had been instrumental, yet her words revealed her true intentions. Marina clarified that her actions were for the residents, not for him. While she sympathized with their plight, her lingering frustration with Vito's deception kept her at arm's length. Acknowledging the hurt he had caused, Vito respected her decision to maintain distance, accepting his responsibility in the situation. Behind the scenes, however, Anton had other ideas. In a move fueled by his signature opportunism, he secretly placed Vito's cell phone into Marina's handbag, ensuring a connection between the two even after their parting. Later that day, Marina stumbled upon the misplaced phone while unpacking her belongings. Curious, she unlocked it and found a voice note. Vito's heartfelt confession intended for Anton. The recording revealed his growing feelings for Marina, sparked by her kindness and compassion. Vito admitted his uncertainty, questioning whether his emotions were genuine or simply unrequited infatuation. Though he had decided to step away, the voice note betrayed his lingering hope to understand how Marina felt about him. The confession weighed on Marina's mind, prompting her to visit Vito at his restaurant. Their meeting began under the guise of returning his cell phone, but as their conversation unfolded, Marina shared her own feelings. She admitted that she had grown to care for him, despite the rocky start to their relationship. The moment marked a turning point for the two, paving the way for reconciliation. Together, Marina and Vito worked to transform the apartment building into a boutique hotel, preserving its history while creating an attraction for tourists. The addition of a restaurant within the hotel became a highlight, with Marina stepping into the role of head chef, a position that suited her talent and passion. Their partnership extended beyond business, blossoming into a romance that brought them closer as they navigated their shared dreams. Meanwhile, Vito succeeded in securing sole custody of Napoleon from the court, a victory that solidified his dedication to his son. Their family, though unconventional, found stability in the new chapter of their lives, with Marina becoming a part of their story.